Hey, profs. Welcome on in. My name's Rob Lightfoot, proud two-time alum of Rick Edelman College of Communication, class of 2000-2001. This is Beyond the Brown and Gold.
I'm Jessica Kennedy. I'm the co-host here, also a two-time proud Rowan alum, class of 2008 from the Rick Edelman College of Communication and Creative Arts, and 2015 from the College of Education. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM presents Beyond the Brown and Gold, a show that highlights the lives and memories of Glassboro State and Rowan University alumni. Now, here are your hosts, Rob Lightfoot and Jessica Kennedy.
And on today's program, Jessica Rose.
Yes.
We're visiting the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
We are. Actually, the College of Humanities and Social Sciences came right to us.
They did.
I know. I love it. I love our chess alums.
They said, "Hey, why don't you talk to this girl?" So we did. So today we are talking with Stephanie Poe-Cerdan, who is 2019 alum, non-traditional student.
Yes.
BA Human Services, and just because she could, minor in criminal justice.
Oh yeah, we barely touched on that criminal justice
did.
piece in the interview, but that's an interesting tidbit.
And here's the thing: is she's pretty active.
Yeah. I mean, she's like she said that she's been living a life of service and she's 9 years old.
9 years old.
So we're going to go from 9-year-old Stephanie to, we won't say how old Stephanie is now because that's just rude. But 9-year-old Stephanie to now has been caring for others, and she's been doing it personally and now professionally. And now she's just ready to go to Tampa and just land under the palm trees.
I was playing with Ninja Turtles at 9. I wasn't thinking about anybody else but myself.
I was pretending. You know what I was doing at 9?
What?
Pretending to be on the radio. I used to go on the beach. Isn't that weird? I used to go on the beach and used to pretend I was like my own radio DJ.
Oh, that was, see, how
who knew?
This like
full circle. Me and
circle.
Stephanie. Me and Stephanie.
This is fantastic. Stephanie's fantastic.
You're going to love her.
You're going to check it out. We are so fortunate today to have Stephanie. Stephanie, hello. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for the welcome. I'm happy to be here.
And on this trip, on this episode, we're officially in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Woohoo,
we haven't dipped our toe in the water in a lot.
Not much. We've had a handful.
Yeah.
A handful. But as Stephanie said before we started, what are the chess alums doing, Stephanie? What are they doing out there?
We are out there saving the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
One human at a time.
I love it.
They're doing big things, and Stephanie's doing great things. So we figured we'd bring you on the show today to kind of learn about more of your story and what you're doing these days, because you are doing such important work. But I'm going to pretend like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
I don't know.
You don't know. So your questions will be really authentic. Mine will be completely
You're just
insincere.
going to lead me to the most important questions to ask.
Well, let's start out the one question that we do ask folks, and it's, how did you find your way to Rowan? Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about Stephanie.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Deptford Township, New Jersey. I did my elementary, middle, and high school years there. In addition to Deptford High School, I graduated from Gloucester County Institute of Technology. I split my junior and senior years.
What were you doing at GCIT over there?
Oh, GCIT. Yes, you do. I took their allied health program.
Okay.
And when I graduated, I achieved my certified home health aide license at that time. So proud 18-year-old me had a certified home health aide license. I always knew I wanted to help people.
And you knew at 18 you wanted to go in people's homes, because that's a big ask at 18 years old.
Yes, I did.
Were you doing that for family members or?
Yes, I was. I assumed some adult-like responsibilities at the age of 9 by providing babysitting duties, changing diapers, warming formula, sterilizing bottles at a very young age. So I enjoyed it. I knew that I always wanted to service other people, and a lot of the women in my family have roles, careers in which they service others. So yes, I was doing it in my family. And
did you have lots of siblings or cousins?
Oh, well, my mom is the youngest of 8, and so is my father.
Wow.
So
whoa. Okay, so you had no shortage of little ones, I'm sure.
No, not at all. And I do have siblings.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Okay. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of family to keep track of.
Oh my gosh, and to shop for at the holidays. Could you imagine?
No, you just have to do a secret Santa.
You
at that one gift.
Big pick and go.
Right. Yes.
So all right. So you did the GCIT thing, and then
I did GCIT, and my first job was at 15. I was working at McDonald's, and then I started working at Walgreens. So customer service there when I graduated at 18, I started working for a large agency in the state of New Jersey, where I spent 18 years servicing adults with intellectual and or developmental disabilities, 21 and older.
Wow.
Yeah, so that experience really, I was blessed, very fortunate to be exposed to it, and provided the opportunity to serve in a role as a direct support professional, because it really opened my mind up to like endless possibilities in servicing others that need the support. In addition to working with that population, I also did 13 years of hospice work. And
I don't know. I would have such a hard time with that. How do you do that?
That's exactly what I thought. So when we first met, to like really break the fourth wall here, I guess. When we first met, I was like,
how do you do that?
how do you do that? Because it is. That's what I believe. I think I said when we had our first lunch, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so hard.
And it is. I'm emotional. You get attached. And I don't think I could ever do hospice. But when I did, I loved it. And I think, it was very, very rewarding to be able to provide palliative care to someone who's in the final stages of their life, and to be there and know the care that you're providing, that they're getting bathed, that they're getting fed, that you're providing companionship services. Very, very rewarding.
I'm sure, yeah.
More rewarding than the financial reward of getting a paycheck every week or bi-weekly. So I didn't think I could do it, but when I did it, I'm like, oh, anyone could do that. If you have it in your heart to just be supportive and nurturing and compassionate to someone during that time, you can do it. It's sad.
You bond with those families, I imagine.
I actually still keep in touch with a lot of the families.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's interesting. It's kind of a double-edged sword. A lot of the families, they associate me with the death of the loved one.
Yeah.
So initially, there's that sadness and disconnect, but we always tend to find ourselves communicating and interacting. And one of the closest families that I was with before I actually stopped hospice, she lives in West Deptford, and I had dinner with them about a month ago. And their mother passed away couple years ago, and we still talk. And there's a patient that I had in Cherry Hill. I think her mom passed away maybe 10 years ago, and we still communicate. So those relationships don't dissolve despite the transition of the loved one. They stay intact because people remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like you're playing such an important role in the family, and during that transitional time, for people to know that their loved one is being cared for, maybe in a way that they're unable to do themselves. I feel like that's really, have to become part of somebody's family in that during that experience, because there's so much trust involved in that position too. So I can imagine you get very close. Now, were you doing all of this and full-time, part-time? How did you, because you were like working already, and then you came to Rowan?
Yeah.
You were a busy lady.
I was busy. I was very busy. I transitioned into independence at 18. I got my first apartment, and I was doing the nonprofit organization full-time, and I was doing the hospice part-time.
Okay.
And
so you've had two jobs.
Yeah.
I had 2 jobs, and then age 21 came a baby.
Okay.
So I had 3 jobs. One was unpaid.
Yeah.
Listen, a child does more than one job, I'd say.
Yes, I agree. It's
it's a job that never ends.
Never. And you should be paid for that job, but we're not. You should be compensated. Started going to, at that time, I'm going to take it back a little bit. It was called Gloucester County College.
Now RCSJ?
Yes, RCSJ. I went there. I achieved my 2-year degree, associate's degree, and I knew I wanted to go to Rowan. I knew I wanted to interact with the owl. I knew.
I've never heard anybody say that.
Yes,
I've never said that.
I have a 5x7 picture with the owl.
Get out.
From graduation, yes.
Oh my
and
gosh,
I love
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the picture you should submit for your...
Yeah, your photo. Yes.
I'll do that.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
I'll do that. I sure will. So I knew I wanted to be at Rowan. Specifically the Human Services program, because I had already been working in Human Services, and I knew that's where I wanted to be for the rest of my life. This is what I want to do. The flexibility of the courses that are offered, I am a non-traditional student. If I don't check off all the boxes, I check off most of them. Single parent.
Right.
When I graduated, it was 2019. I'm 38 now, so we're 2023. Just totally non-traditional. Competing priorities. You have to pay your bills. You have to take care of your child. And in addition to that, education is important. It's important for what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, what made you, because you're already in the field, what made you pursue a degree at that time?
I wanted to stand alone as an independent provider, which is what I am now. And in order to do so, you need to have your bachelor's degree.
Okay.
Yes. So again, super blessed blessed with being employed by the previous agency because I was allowed to get tuition reimbursement.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, I had a flexible schedule and a leadership role.
And did they give you any credit hours? Because you put your time in. Like,
Yeah.
you should
Did you have to intern? I don't think so.
like,
You were
time
working.
served, I feel like.
Interesting. I did have to intern.
Okay.
But I know I appreciate that experience because I did a dual internship. I did Center for Family Services.
Okay.
And I also did Burlington County Superior Courthouse, the juvenile probation department. My major at Rowan was human services. My minor was criminal justice. So I always thought I want to service individuals, and perhaps I can take my experience and knowledge to pull that into servicing individuals that have intellectual and or developmental needs that are involved in a criminal justice system for whatever reason.
It's very specific.
I feel like she checks all the boxes, though, of our previous world, right? The intervention.
Yes.
So the intervention.
So you must know Rob's previous life, and my previous
Yes.
life is in substance abuse prevention. That's how we know it. Well, kind of. We know each other from here, but then we also knew each other in our professional worlds as well. So, like for me, I worked at a substance abuse prevention agency, and I did all coalition building. So I worked with all those community partners, like Center for Family Services and the municipal courts and all of those folks to reduce substance abuse. And Rob's agency was kind of like the statewide.
Yeah, like the umbrella organization that helped kind of do technical assistance and service for those people.
So we have a heart for that work too, and know how much work it
oh my
really
gosh, yes,
is.
yes. In fact, we had on the Cumberland County prosecutor.
Yeah, Jennifer Webb McCrae. Yeah, she's awesome. I worked very closely with her in my previous pre-Rowan employment life. So, yeah, so that's amazing though that you did all that. How did you do when I came back for grad school? I was married, but I thought that was like a handful, and it was. I mean, it just really wasn't. I was employed full time. I had flexibility, but you had a kid, 2 jobs. How long did it take you to get through the bachelor's program? Did you do it full time?
I achieved it in 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I did.
Sometimes these guests make me feel really poor about myself.
Definitely an ego check.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's gratitude. My heart is full and it's nourished, and I am so thankful that not only as a student do we put in work, our family puts in work to babysit, to support, to listen to us vent, and the professors here, the counselors, everyone played a part in ensuring that I was successful. That is something that will never go away. It was so positively impactful that if I didn't have the compassion and the understanding from everyone, all the professionals that I encountered here at Rowan, I don't know if I would have been able to flourish and succeed so quickly. And I was able to because of the support. The role of being a professor or a counselor, they far exceeded it. They really extended themselves to say, okay, what are your struggles? What are your challenges? How do we help you to get through this course? You're going to be late. You can't make it to class. How do we ensure that you have the necessary tools to push through and with grit?
Yeah.
We had a lot of grit starting out so young. That's
I know.
Yeah.
Are any professors or faculty members in particular that you remember that really helped you along your Rowan journey?
Sharon McCann, I got to give her a shout out. Yes, and Laurie Baker. They were phenomenal.
They I think that's a great thing that people don't really give staff or faculty credit for, is a lot of times they're taking students like hopes and dreams under their wings and really helping them to achieve that success. And there's so much support to be able to do that here at Rowan. Everybody that we talk to has a faculty member or a staff member that was instrumental in their positive experience here at Rowan. So that's always nice.
Yeah, it's not
to
so
hear.
transactional of just delivering the coursework.
Right. Carolyn Gribben, she was one of my professors, and she understood. Wife, 2 kids. She was very much like, we're a human services professional. What can I do to service you as a student? And then I had Professor Vance Patrick, who passed away during the time that I was, here at Rowan. So he used to, before every class, grit. He used to have us talk about grit and, how do we take our education and our life experience and impact someone in a beneficial, positive way. So,
and to frame this conversation for folks who might not know, because I think we're maybe assuming some, but the human services sector is really not as well paid as maybe businesses or those financial sectors. So that's why it is kind of a labor of love in this section.
It is. It's definitely a field in which you have to have it in your heart, and you should. If you're servicing others, you should. Yes.
Yes, very much so. So tell us about Stephanie on graduation day. How excited were you? What was your mindset after having accomplished just what you've accomplished in the 2 years and all that you've accomplished? I'm sure that was a culmination of really everything you experienced.
Yes. So Stephanie on graduation day. Woo, man, I did it. This journey was a long one, but I did it. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Literally, I felt like I had a lot against me that would contribute to failure if I chose to allow it, but I did not. So I felt accomplished. I felt successful. And then I felt like now I have an additional tool that I can use to benefit someone else. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Now, were you one of those folks? My favorite folks at commencement are the ones carrying babies around. So I think that's such a beautiful representation of like not letting anything stop you and being such a positive role model. Were you one of those folks carrying a nugget around on commencement day? Oh, they probably didn't ever give you enough tickets, I bet.
My nugget at that point was old. He was, oh man, let's see. He was born 2006.
Yeah, so you had...
My nugget's now 17.
I'm still going to carry my kids.
That would be
12.
noticeable. That would be very noticeable. Because who's behind that other person? Oh, I think it's Jess.
Yeah.
That would be different,
funny.
though. That would be different.
That is different.
But it's got to be inspiring for him to see mom cross the stage.
Yeah, very inspiring. And he has some additional needs himself, so he understands humility, and I believe strongly that all interactions shall be implemented with humility. Just keep going. Doesn't matter what your challenge is. I've said this before. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic status is, your race, religion, sexual orientation. Be great. You can accomplish anything that you literally set your mind to. And there's people out here that care and want to help and want to support. I think that is a great message to ensure that everyone hears and knows there's always someone around to provide support and encouragement.
So what was your journey post your graduation day?
My journey post my graduation day. So I continued to work like a little workhorse. That's my thing. And then I had established a company, Devani Home Care Solutions, in November of 2014. And I knew I wanted.
You did this before. I just want the timeline. So you hadn't graduated yet when you started that, right?
That's correct. I hadn't graduated yet. Yeah, and I knew I wanted to service people, but I wasn't sure how. So I established an entity, and I maintained it just in terms of policy development and really trying to figure out where am I going with this business. After I got the degree in 2020 is when I submitted an application to become a provider in the state of New Jersey under the sector of DDD, which is the Division of Developmental Disabilities. We flourished 2021, and we've just been going uphill since then. So I own a provider agency that is authorized with Medicaid and DDD, or authorized by, I should say, Medicaid and DDD. Medicaid is our primary funding source, and we provide services to adults that have intellectual and or developmental disabilities, 21 and older. And we service the entire state. Right now I have, at this point, about 43 employees. And what I love, to say, oh, I'm a business owner, I don't think I fully have grasped that yet.
Yeah.
Because
that's different than you don't anticipate you're going to have a degree in, from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, and then you're going to start your own business. So I feel like that's a really unique path that you have.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it hasn't
Still not
penetrated me yet. Yeah, because I am rewarded by the fact that I can employ others. That's so satisfying to me. Employing others, the work that we do, I am still in the field. I go in the field and I work alongside individuals.
So you're not
and their
pushing
families.
papers around and doing casework that way.
No. And the culture. I'm so big on the culture. We'll probably always be a mom and pop shop. I can say collectively we've serviced over 60 individuals across the state. I want us to stay small. I don't ever want to get too big that we're not connected to the work that we're doing. All of the leaders that report to me, intentionally, they have to work a couple of their hours, a percentage of their hours out in the field. That keeps them grounded and attached to the direct support professionals who are in the field daily. And it also keeps them connected to the families and the individuals that we serve. How can you educate, teach, lead a group of individuals if you're not connected to what they're physically doing? So I'm like, no one sits on a high horse. And no paper pushers. We are all in it together. If you're asking an employee to do something, you should do it. You should have done it and set the example and lead. So I'm really big on culture and our service delivery. Do it with compassion. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. So we're very selective in who we hire. My thought process is take care of others as you, number one, expect to be taken care of, because we're all going to need it one day, and as if it's your loved one. Regardless of who it is, deliver services with great care. That's us.
Yeah.
Is there a meaning behind the name Devani?
Oh, I love that. So my son's name is Devin, and then I'm Stephanie.
Oh, cute. I know.
A little blend. It's
Yeah.
a
Little blend.
But how do you stay focused or refreshed? Because it's challenging work that you're doing.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Burnout is real.
Yeah, especially in that field.
It is. And you find yourself in a position that you want to give so much to others. You want to pour in the cups of others, but no one's there to pour into you. So self-care, I promote a culture with a positive and healthy work-life balance, because I know what it is to have experienced a not so positive or healthy one. And just self-care, nails, toes, hair, massages. I like facials.
So you can sit still.
Yes.
Just great quality to have.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but no,
yes.
it's all. If you feel better on the outside, right? It takes care of some of the inside issues.
Absolutely. And you can
Not all of
show
them,
up
but-
and be present and,
Yes.
be adequate to address someone else's need. But you have to make sure yours are addressed first.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, yeah. Definitely self-care. I promote that.
Do you encounter a lot of, you call them clients or patients, or I'm not sure what you would call them, but I guess clients. Do you encounter a lot of clients that are, not receptive to you being there as the caregiver?
So when I was doing hospice, and we do service seniors now, we have a sector for senior. They're mostly the non-receptive individuals on the forefront. And I've always received positive feedback from their loved ones, like, hey, my mom or my dad responds to you totally different than they respond. And I'm like, well, number one, don't feel bad. It's because they're comfortable with you.
Yeah.
I'm a stranger, so it may cause anxiety or it may be scary to them, as it is for me walking into someone's home on the first time. However, they're not going to show me their true selves because they're not comfortable yet. I'm sure I'll learn them once they become comfortable. Usually with the seniors, there's that wall up because they're transitioning. So, they're in a stage where they're in receipt of a lot of instruction. The same applies to our individuals that have a disability or disabilities. The approach is really what is my saving grace, because I always start off with, I am not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to serve you. And there's a difference. I want to enhance your life, not cause chaos or interrupt your life. I say that on the forefront, and that's typically received well. And you just see like the relaxation, like, okay, there's
You're
not
reducing
another.
that barrier. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
You're a
I'm
very
here for
calming
you.
presence, though.
Yeah.
I would like to reserve you now for my hospice care. Please make note for my husband.
No, just regular care. Let's just do regular care. Well, how do people get you, by the way?
Yeah, like
do they have to
request your
request you, or
services?
you have to be a referral from a doctor? Like, how does it? I don't even know how that service works.
Yeah, so like other provider agencies, most of our referrals are word of mouth. And it's funny because we do such a great job that the case managers, the social workers out in the field, those other human service professionals refer to us. Yeah. So that's how we get them.
But so
To get me
yeah, so-
personally.
no.
I don't want that
Hey,
other person.
yeah,
I want
no.
Stephanie.
I know that. I have your email and phone number.
Yeah.
But how? So like.
Oh yeah, you're older than us. You should be reserving her before I am.
True story. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've made it this far. So far, so good. No, but so does somebody need to get a referral from like their doctor, or does Medicare have to provide? I guess that's how I'm like, or can Joe?
Like, how is the payment work? Kind of like,
can
is that
Joe
like the
Average just
insurance?
call up your service line and say, I need you for my family member?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone can
Oh,
call
so
us.
it's that easy. There's no. I
Absolutely.
didn't know with insurance if there were other hoops you had to.
We've
like-
worked in nonprofits, so we know sometimes
Yeah.
there's hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the sad issues, I'll
Yes.
say, with this field. There are a lot of hoops to jump and navigate for individuals that are really in need and deserving of services.
Which, especially as I'm seeing some things now, but as folks age, just the services that are available, the cost associated with those services, and just the pieces that come through, it's incredible what's out there. But and to have to jump through the hoops
Yes.
at a time when you need it to be easy and you need it to be fast
That's right.
and you need it to be high level, it's not there. We're not there yet.
No, it's not. And there's not too many services that support the families. I'm a big advocate
I didn't see it from
on
that
that.
perspective.
Yeah, because you have a lot of children of patients who are in that sandwich generation. So they have their parents
Kids to take care of,
They have
too.
their kids. Yes. And likewise for the other population, typically if there's a guardian or a sibling that's taking care of them, and I just want to go out and like go on a date or go to the movies or take care of myself. We need someone for respite services or just to come in and alleviate some of this for us. So it's refreshing that people are actually speaking up more so nowadays, that I say, hey, I need help. I need support.
So you are seeing an increase in that.
We are seeing an increase in that.
Now, would you say
yes.
it's an increase more from, like, I'm always curious what happens from the pandemic piece. Are you seeing more like post-pandemic, or has it just been on the rise, pretty steady increase?
I'm seeing it more post-pandemic because a lot of us were stuck inside
Yeah.
with our significant others, with our kids, and you need to get some fresh air after that. And people started realizing, wow, we went through a pandemic, everything changed, things were shut down,
Yeah.
and we need to start asking for help now rather than waiting.
You know, I don't think it's funny. Like, the pandemic is like such a weird thing, but I had a 14-month-old when everything shut down. There are lasting impact on what that shutdown was. We didn't leave the house for 14 months. You know, in some ways I could see the personality traits that were developed during that time that were impacted. So it's just, I feel like we're not going to know that long-term impact for a while. But I feel like it must have impacted so many different generations. I mean, to have parented through a pandemic, which, nobody had really done before. I mean, there was just so many weird
Yeah, the
things that
isolation
were
of the isolation pieces and
Yeah.
not going out and interacting with others, and it's just hard. But circling back to your Rowan time, you did come back to campus, as I understand, like in the last year or so, to give a talk.
I did. That was at the Human Services Banquet.
Who was the audience first, and then what was sort of the message that you were hoping to convey to the, I guess, I imagine, students?
Yes, students and their loved ones. The audience was students of the Human Services program. I think there were actually other departments a part of that.
Okay.
So I think it was a banquet under the umbrella of College of Humanities and Social Sciences. The message that I wanted to convey is I, by no means, had a silver spoon. I didn't even have a roadmap. Resilience is what got me to where I am today, and that it does not matter the obstacles. Your journey and your path is what you design it to be. There's no such thing as a bad day. We have bad moments, so let's process that and identify solution-driven responses and keep going. Because our fate is in our hands. We can have anything occur in life. That's life. It's really how you manage it. And always be kind. There's no reason not to. Always be kind. Sometimes a smile goes a long way. Hi, how you doing? A close friend of mine, Sarah, said to me years ago, Steph, you have a way of making people feel 10 feet tall. It's just being nice.
Yeah.
It's just being nice. You never know what the next person is going through. So it's not woe me. It's how do I manage what is happening now for the betterment of myself and others, you know.
And along those same lines, Stephanie is helping others here at the university. We're starting a scholarship. You're going to start a scholarship. So that's fantastic to be helping students here at the university. That's somewhat mirrored sort of your path here of non-traditional and such.
Yes, non-traditional. There's always someone willing to help if we know. So, yeah, and I did contribute to the Thrive program as well.
The Thrive program.
Yeah, Thrive is great. And the Wellness Center there.
I'm here to help. Use me.
So I would love the opportunity to sit down like this
Yep.
with all of our alums. What a wonderful opportunity that we have to do that, because you really feel connected to the alum, and they're more than just, 1 in 110 plus thousand folks. They're people doing amazing things in the world, helping other people, and just they make my heart feel good.
And when I first met Stephanie, I said this to her. I said, Steph, you're doing such big things. Not that others aren't, but
There's so many people doing big things. We're lucky to be able to talk to folks, but
just the care that she's providing,
I know.
and that she's just so down to earth and just like caring about everything. So it's great to have folks like that. We need those folks out in the world. We need more of that in the world.
She's very calming. I feel like I would like her to just come maybe to my home a couple times a week.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think
take care of me.
Yeah. I think that's something different. But no, Stephanie is wonderful. I am so glad that we got to bring her in today to talk to her. And if we did all the other alums, it'd be a lot of interviews, I think.
I know. I don't think we would have time to do all of them. But if you're an alum that's interested in being on the show, we would love to hear your story.
How do they do that, though?
They could visit go.rowan.edu/BTB guest.
Really? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it is. I think I said
I just
it
show
right.
up to this show. Well, I'm sure it's a thing. So do that.
Yeah, you can apply online. We'll review your submission, and we'll get back to you and see if we can share your story with other alums.
You've been listening to Beyond the Brown and Gold on Rowan Radio 89.7 WGLS FM. You can find more episodes on your favorite podcasting platforms by searching for Beyond the Brown and Gold or Rowan Radio On Demand.